what's helped me stay true to myself, I don't know if a lot of people didn't grow up with strict parents. Let's just put it that way.
Mm.
A lot of people didn't grow up with parents on them and, feeling like they have to uphold a family reputation. Well, I did. Um, my mother didn't go to school, but my father did. He went to Howard, graduated, went to William and Mary. He's now an attorney. Um,
Mm.
my
What type
father,
of attorney?
yes, he's done 30 years of service in the state of Virginia,
No, what
on,
type of attorney is he?
on different levels. I think it's just like criminal defense, I believe.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hey.
And now he's doing more like public defender work. Shout out to my dad, Laurent Gilchrist, 30 years in Virginia practicing law.
Oh,
Um,
look at that. So you be asking him for law questions and stuff. You like, he's your legal eagle.
I tell everyone I have an attorney on speed dial.
Oh, see, I know that's right. I know that's right, oh Lord. You better say it. I have an attorney on speed dial. I
Yeah.
know that's right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of Did You Hear That with Shimei and A'Lauren. I am Shimei Cook.
And my name is Laurent Gilchrist.
What's going on, A'Lauren? We are at episode 2.
I
How
got,
are you doing?
I'm doing good. I can't believe we're actually doing this. Like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a road, but we're here. Today's episode is all about how we navigate college, how people like us navigate college. So what have you learned about yourself, Lauren, since you've been in college?
Hmm.
We're both in our junior years, right? Going into our senior, actually, we're both going into our senior years, right? What have you learned about yourself
Um,
um while being in college?
I think I've learned a lot, and I think I kind of finally figured out like my parents used to say, don't rush to grow up, don't rush to be an adult. And I'm really starting to see that. Kind of like
Yeah.
so many, what I've realized navigating college is that so many of the lessons that at least my parents taught me, or things that I didn't want to hear when I was a teenager, like are starting to come into fruition, and it's kind of crazy. At least for me, like I've learned so many things, like, everybody's not your friend. Just because people are in your face and just because people want to hang out with you doesn't mean that they're necessarily your friend or have the best intentions for you.
Mm.
Um, really realizing that the people who actually love you are actually, your family. Um, just navigating, learning how to like just be alone sometimes and being okay with that.
Mhm.
Um, and just kind of just learning like who I am. Staying true to myself and, not because there's a lot of people that come to college and they think that they're gonna get this like 360 rebrand of who they are, and it is a fresh start. But I mean, for me, I kind of knew how I was coming in college, and I've kind of stayed the course. Now I've made some mistakes, and I've done some things I said that I would never do. But I really think if you know who you are coming into college, some of your expectations or whatnot, just may not change, if that makes sense.
I learned that I'm not a morning person. I
Oh
thought
Lord.
I was. In high school, I really liked getting up in the morning and all that stuff. I was a morning person, but now my latest class that I want for my schedule, I mean, I say this to all my academic advisors, don't schedule me before, before 9 o'clock,
Oh yeah, no.
10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, yeah, I say 10 o'clock. I have not all my college career, I have never had a class before 10 o'clock. Thank God. Because I know I'll be waking up at 9 o'clock sometimes. In freshman year, I used to have a morning routine where I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning because I did that in high school. That's why. So my body was so used to waking up at 6 o'clock. I had a morning routine. I used to listen to the Breakfast Club in the morning, read the headlines, all the stuff. So yeah, but now,
No.
not anymore. You lucky if you could get me at 10:30.
Mhm.
You're lucky if you get no. Well, hold on. I was never late for. Well, I'm a few minutes late for class, but yeah, it's pushing. I'm not a morning person anymore. I learned that about myself in college. And also, I'll probably say socially that I really don't. I'm an introvert, but extrovert at the same time. Like I like being outside, but at a certain time, I want to be in the house by the 10 o'clock news.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't really like yeah. So yeah, I don't really like that, and yeah, I don't being outside. I'm not an outside person. I'm an inside person. So when people be say, "Oh, you be outside," and the thing is, though, I it's so easy for me to go to undercover when I'm outside allegedly, because
I do.
so many people think that are so used to me because I wear suits every day.
Yeah.
So many people are so used to me wearing suits. So when I like go outside, I have normal clothes on. Well, suits are normal clothes. I have like casual clothes on.
Streetwear on.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
streetwear. And I always, to go undercover, I always have a baseball cap. Oh, I shouldn't be saying this, but people could,
I don't even know.
they gonna know. Well, I always have a baseball cap and a jeans and a t-shirt. And you don't know, and people be so surprised, like they have to do a double take, like, but by the time they do the second double take, I'm gone. And you don't know. So yeah, yeah, sometimes I don't. That's how I blend in, yeah, with the crowd. Yeah, but that's
And
what happened. What
you
you
know,
say?
I experienced that a little bit this past weekend. I don't go outside much either. My schedule during the school year is pretty booked. I'm in the
Me
station,
too. Hmm.
class, events. But everybody's graduating. So they wanted me to come out, and the same thing where people are like doing, I can't believe you're out here. I can't believe you're out here.
That's the thing, like, cause people don't imagine us like being outside. Like, I don't know how many times, and I tell people, I do not like going outside. I don't like going to parties, but I get invited because I'm Shemai Cook, and I'm not saying that arrogantly, but
Yeah,
I get invited because I'm a well-known person, and my school's but so small, it's not hard to know who I am in a way. I'm not saying that arrogantly. It's just that's the culture of how small schools work.
yeah.
Um, so I get invited to places, and sometimes I turn them down. Like sometimes I said I'll come, but I'm leaving in an hour. And I get my own little section. I don't drink. I'm 21, don't drink. I don't do anything. Don't do no nonsense. But I show my face and I leave. Cause I really, again, this party might start at party. They say the party starts at 10. The party really starts at 12. So I show up probably 11:30, 12 o'clock, and I'm out of there by 12:45. Mm-hmm. 12:45, and that's probably why I'm not a morning person, because that's sleep schedule. But it's some stuff like that I have to navigate college, and yeah, but people do double takes when they see us. Sorry, it's so because it's so weird though. It feels so weird. It's like we're stepping out our comfort zone.
Intruding, like, not supposed to be here.
Am I
Like,
supposed to be here? Hey, can we talk about when we go to parties? It's the same music at HBC on the same playlist. Can we talk about that? I don't understand. Do all these
uh,
DJs have the same playlist? Okay, I don't understand. To say I told it to Lauren, I made a whole when
you
I
did,
was at
yeah.
I made a whole playlist of songs that I have heard right from Homecoming, just Homecoming. But in those songs they just played at homecoming, they play everywhere, all the parties. I don't. It's the same playlist. It's about 10 to 15 songs that they just play. I guess every DJ just have a link or a Dropbox and say, okay, play this songs, do a remix into it, and then play it at every HBCU party. That's what they play from "Wipe Me Down." to what nasty song?
You
What's the
know,
other one? Back that A up.
yeah.
Uh, what else?
Dreams and
Dreams and
Nightmares.
Nightmares, yes.
Um,
Um,
No Flocking.
yeah. It's just it's just all these songs. It's just I get that's the playlist of HBCU. So when people who are coming into HBCUs expect these to hear these songs your whole college career, and then once you hear them on the radio, it
Yeah.
brings back flashbacks. Because that's every time I hear on the radio, I'm like, well, ooh, flashbacks. So it's just like
I feel like for me, I like hearing the songs
I
outside
do.
of.
Outside it's so weird. That's yes, outside the party. I like hearing it. And now it's about to be boots on the ground. Now it's about to be boots.
I'm tired of that.
Hmm. Hold on. Wait, no, I'm not going upstairs. I have my fan. I have a fan. My brother, my family went on the cruise, and my brother got a fan. My brother has good rhythm, and he's only 6 years old. And he knows the whole dance. He was like Jackson. But now that's really crazy. But yeah, now it's about to be boots on the ground. Now everybody doing this line dance. Follow me. Nah, I after certain songs, oh Flex, that's another
I
one.
love that though.
I love line dances. It takes me a minute. It took me a good, I think, 2 semesters to learn one dance when I was at Central, the school dance. Because I have no rhythm. I really don't. So, uh, I could do the little two-step and I sit my butt down. But yeah, no. Hey, you have rhythm, Lauren?
A little bit. It depends. A little bit.
Mm, allegedly. Okay. I didn't hear that. All right. So what did your college experience so far oh wait, did your college experience so far fulfill how you imagined it before you came to college?
No.
Why?
Um, I was actually very upset maybe a year ago about that. Like now it just didn't fulfill. And I don't know if that's because I picked a smaller HBCU compared to like A&T or
Well,
how I
ours the same size as Norfolk. It's just in the city. That's probably what makes it big. It's about the same student population.
I just what I came in thinking is just not what it was. Now there's a lot of things that okay, I like the show Grownish because I feel like I can relate to it. A lot of people hate this show, but I think that show kind of does. It is very realistic, so I will say that.
Hmm.
Um, but I had like so many expectations of like just I'll meet that group of friends, and I'm gonna be out on the yard all the time, and just a lot of different things that I saw on TV or like social media like did not happen. Like here in Norfolk State, we're not having parties on the yard really at all, unless it's homecoming. I remember
Well,
my freshman year, like
uh,
during the welcome week, people
uh-huh.
were trying to have parties, and police was driving on the grass telling us to go inside.
Well, at
Like
least the police is doing something then.
then, yeah,
Man.
then, um, we can't really gather like that. I would say with my friendships, I had a group that fell apart. I was really locked in with them. They weren't really locked in with me.
Mm.
Um,
Oh my gosh. I hate
I-
that feeling. Yeah.
yeah. You see the whole like student leadership aspect, and you think it's one thing, and then when you get into it, you see it's a whole different ball game. Um, just like even with some of my classes, high school, they tell you college is going to be so rigorous, and
Yeah, that's a lie.
that's a
Yeah,
lie.
that's a lie. People were like, "Oh, they're not." A lot of my high school's teachers were saying, "Oh, college, you're there's no one's gonna." Well, that's true. No one's gonna baby you, but college is gonna be so rigorous. Some of you most likely won't make it through college or drop out. I was like, how dare you? Number one. But yeah, college is not as bad as I thought. Okay, I'm sorry. I cut you off, but continue. I'm sorry.
But no, I agree. I feel like academic wise, to me, it's not that hard, and maybe it's because it's my major.
Major. That's
I've,
fair.
yeah, I've had more issues with actual professors or just people rather than, keeping my grades up. We don't use books here. Um,
Mm.
like we have our books included with our tuition price, but none
Oh,
of my
we do too. Okay, that's how my school does it too. But it's ebooks. It's not actual paper books.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Um,
that's good. That's the way of the times now. People don't. I think that changes in grad school. I think that's an undergrad thing. In grad school, there are actual books that people do use. I've heard, because a lot of people in grad school, depending on your concentration, you have to do research, and you have to
mhm.
reference the book that you're doing and all that stuff. But no, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. With the, but I think it's smart though, because you actually, the school and the students actually save a little money because paper, you
Mhm.
save the trees and all that stuff. So inflation and all that stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I think just like I said before, just the kind of social aspect, a lot of people say, yeah, go to HBCU, you'll fit right in just because you're black, and
No,
it's
that's
just
not the
one big
case.
happy family. And in a lot of cases, there's a lot of family aspects, but there's a lot of mess too. And
Mm,
some days it just feels like, I've experienced more of that than the actual bond, if that makes sense.
mm. I think for me, did I imagine, did my experience so far fulfill how I imagined it? Yes and no. I say when I came to college, I'm a first generation student, by the way. My mom turned down a full ride to Howard to have me. She wanted to go be a lawyer. Um, so I had that aspect of when I was going to college in my mind to make sure I finished, so that her sacrifices was in vain. Um, but when I came to college, I thought that, I envisioned it like what I saw from Morehouse or what I
Mhm.
saw from Howard when I went to Central. I thought like that's how all HBCU culture is. Everybody dressing in their suits and everybody, ready to go into class. When I went to Central, no, that wasn't the case. Only from besides from student leaders. That
Yeah,
wasn't the case. Everybody wasn't wearing suits all the time. It was very, and I see, like, especially freshman year, you can see how people, the students or your peers who were sheltered and now want to let loose
yeah,
because they have some type of freedom now. And that's interesting to see from afar.
yeah,
So, my experience so far with that, I adjust and I deal with it accordingly. I didn't really have freshman year. I did have a little friend group in a way. It was like a associate slash friend group in a way. Um, yeah. They were older than me though. They were in the same grade. One guy, I think my second semester, my sophomore year, he dropped out. But another guy, the other one, yeah, he dropped out, and the other guy graduated. He was a little older than me. But yeah, we kind of drifted apart. It was kind of, yeah, I think like that. Like I really wanted to find like those friends that I can best man at my wedding or godfather to my children. Something like that. That's what I really envisioned. But and that's probably my thing too. It's really hard for me to trust people. I think that's the thing I have to deal with because, like you said earlier, you can't tell everybody everything. Especially in our generations, people are petty.
yeah,
People like to throw stuff in your face. And that's why I don't like telling everybody everything. Now, context matters, all that stuff. But I think that in that aspect, yeah, I have. So the experience wise though, I did experience the culture. I have love, excuse me, the aspect of, you know, the homecoming, the tailgating at games, and the football games and all that stuff, and the parades. And I know my freshman year, my Central in North Carolina Central, we won the Celebration Bowl versus Deion Sanders and Jackson State, and that was amazing. I was that was the first time I ever covered a game on that big of a platform. I was in the press room. I got press passes. That's the first time I was in the press box in Atlanta. So it was really a great experience. So I think that experience of career wise, absolutely. I've been exposed to things that I never imagined that I would be. And to show that, my dreams and goals are really going to come true because of what I'm exposed to. So, and I kind of got an aspect to meet Roland Martin. I got to meet Roland Martin. Um, I've been in the press room with Deion Sanders and all that stuff. So it was really cool. I will say that it's really cool, and I got to, I would say, get my name out there, and um, I saw actually the commissioner of the Celebration Bowl at CIAA in Baltimore a few months ago. He was like, "Oh my God, I remember." He almost didn't recognize me because my freshman year I had hair. I had like I called it my signature. I had that hairstyle since probably middle school, and they had to let it go. It was time. Yeah, I had to let it go. It was like what was it called? Like a sponge up top fade, high top fade. I had to let it go because it was too much. So I let it go, and he was like, "Oh my God, you cut your hair." But he recognized me because I had the suit on, of course. So, but nah, I think the experience of college was good and bad because of my career. But when they call it the bad, student leadership, the initially, now this is at I'm talking about that Central. I'm gonna switch over where I'm at now, Fayetteville State. Central student leadership at first, they were so welcoming. I think that's how they get you. It's so welcome. It's so welcoming. Like, oh my God, I remember, and I'm not lying. The Mister North Carolina Central my freshman year. His name was Josiah Russell. He said to me, like, he saw my passion. I was running for Mr. Freshman, and he
Yeah.
saw my passion, and he saw um that what I was doing. We were both comm majors, both mass comm, all that stuff. Um and he was like, "Oh my God, I could really see you on my court. I really, and during the election, I think this is for every school. Um but they can't endorse you. Nobody can endorse you. Nobody can, allegedly. Nobody can endorse you. Nobody can publicly endorse you. Let's say
Yeah.
that. There
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah.
Publicly endorse you. So you know, in that aspect, we saw that but he really during the preparation and my speech and um the pageant or whatever showcase, he helped me, he's mentored me and all that stuff. Like I could really see you, but once I lost, it's just like he faded away,
Yeah.
nothing. It was like so weird, and then it was just I don't know. Like I really thought like, oh my God, it could be like a big brother to me and like a big mentor because he was in his senior year, and it was like it was really weird to me. It was like I don't know. I took that personal because like if you see someone who has a passion and you see someone that reminds you of you, why not help them out? Even though if they lost or anything, it doesn't matter. It seemed like, and then even I can't really. Well, I'm not at that school anymore. But the advisor of
Mhm.
SGA really was some play favorites too. Was really how they handled the election was really something. So just like the culture of SGA really didn't steer me in the right direction.
Yeah.
And it was just like so odd. And so that's when I started in the stuff. Once you get in SGA, most of the people, now I'm not saying all, they just there for the title. They're not there for the work.
Mhm.
Because I remember the guy that beat me freshman year, the dude, his platform was the Flash, right? And I remember his speech. I would never forget it. He said, "Class 2026, that's Flash of the classroom. That's Flash of this, Flash of that." And the dude w- was in one of my classes. Dude used to skip class, being a calf. Dude uses how you gonna say Flash of this classroom and you skipping class?
Mhm.
And I got flack for that because I said it on the radio, all that stuff. But in the end, it's holding people accountable. You're a student leader,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. No.
If you're gonna say this, this is false advertisement. They call me a sore loser. At the same time, I'm not in politics. At the end of the day, if I win or lost, I'm still a journalist. I'm still gonna speak truth to power. So and I did it to everybody. So don't think it was just because I lost all that stuff. And
Yeah.
no, and that's what they thought, and that's when I rubbed them the wrong way, and that's where they started treating me differently. But I just think that's and you experience not not the same thing, but very some similar where student leaders are just there for the title. They're not there for the work.
Mhm.
So I feel like that rubbed me the wrong way because I really thought since we're all black students
Yes.
and I found out all kinfolk and all skinfolk and kinfolk. Learned that the hard way. Like you think everybody's not for you.
Yeah.
Everybody's not for you, so that's really hard to take in. I'm sorry, I ran a rampage, but go ahead, Lauren.
No, no. You made a lot of good points, Shemai. Especially when, he mentioned the whole mentor aspect. And
Yeah,
I've seen it a lot, including with myself. There's several different things I've lost, I ran for and lost, and you had these, girls, be so close to you. And then as soon as you lose or you don't get the opportunity, they don't know who you are anymore.
exactly.
Crazy.
It's so great, and
Yeah.
And when I transfer, and that's one of the reasons why I transferred because I didn't like that weird energy, and I wanted to be one of those people that make a change in our campus that changes that because that's weird. People are
Yeah.
paying money to be here. They're not paying to be bullied or being
Yeah.
misled. It's
Yeah.
annoying. It's really aggravating. So that's one of the reasons why I transferred. When I went to when I moved to where I'm at now, Fayetteville State. Totally different. Student leaders are approachable. They mean what they say. You can have conversation with them. If they'll support you, they support each other. That's what I envision. I wish I had that same energy from, peers and student leadership at Central. I would not have left. But I
Mhm.
feel like that goes down to the bigger the school, the bigger the problem. The smaller the school, the smaller the problems. So it's just like I see where this is going. Sorry, I see that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just in the whole thing with truth to power, everybody's your friend until you hold them accountable.
Hmm.
When I spent my year in SGA, as a sophomore vice president, um, my own cabinet itself turned on me because I,
Wow.
yes, tried to kick me out because I was just telling them, let's do things in an organized, correct way. Everybody needs to fulfill their duties, things of that nature.
Oh,
And everybody turned on me.
nobody likes structure.
Yeah.
Everybody dysfunction. That's annoying too. Cause
Yeah.
this is the thing. I see that with a lot of people that look like you and me and Lauren. People
Hmm.
don't like structure. People like this dysfunction. It's annoying because that's not how corporate America or the real world
Exactly.
works. So
Exactly.
you're just preparing because you want to do this with class. If your
No.
professor says something like that, you won't do that. But you do it with organization that has a lot of money, one of the biggest budgets on campus,
Hmm.
in that has a aspect of changing the future of the student body. People don't understand that how important their job is or importance of certain organization, and that's annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. It's terrible. And, just watching how some people, I've even seen some people bully others out of running for campaigns
What?
just, just so they could stay in office for another year, you
Oh,
know?
that's annoying. Oh, that's crazy. That's wicked.
Yeah.
That's wicked.
Just the amount of drama I've seen around like election seasons every year, it's kind of insane. And that's one reason why I brought up the point, when you know yourself, there's certain things that you just don't have to do. You know,
Mm-mm.
if it's for you, of course run your race and win. But if it's not, the whole, I gotta bite tooth and nail and I gotta undermine people just to get an opportunity, it's just sad. And I don't
And,
feel like
I don't like the thing of how like you can't point others like some people who run are not qualified to run.
exactly.
I don't like the process of that you can't point that out like or point like the negative stuff about people because that's how politics are run. It's all about friendly competition, but at the end of the day, these are people who are first of all getting paid because certain positions, most positions are
Hmm.
getting paid. Number two, they're getting paid from your tuition. Because if you look at your fee, I bet you everybody, I'm speaking for myself, but I bet you everybody have a fee. If you look at your fees on your bill, when you go to college, it says an SGA fee. That's how those are the salaries that are being paid for the student leadership that are voted in. That's number two. Number three, so it's a popularity contest, and it should not be that way. Popularity contests are that's not how politics run, and I don't like how. And I'm not saying we should run like a whole ad, like oh, like you know how Trump did for
Yeah,
Kamala or something. I'm not saying that, but like in a debate format or something like things like there's certain things that you got to point out. And
exactly.
I don't like the friendly competition. I don't like that because that's not how politics run. That's not how should government in democracy should run. So that's what I have seen. I have noticed at certain schools.
I agree. For us, it seems like there's like you said, there's no real debate, so real pointing out the qualifications. People like to be messy
Hmm.
and be shady on social media, but when it comes to actually like breaking things down as to why I am the better candidate and this makes me more qualified, that's almost looked down upon. And
Hmm.
I've faced that several times, Um, and I don't know if it's just because people just don't like being held accountable or being shown, that they're really not fit for the role or what. But a lot of things are, especially at my HBCU, popularity, popularity,
Yeah.
popularity. And that can trump everything. And I don't understand that.
Yeah. I don't understand. Okay. What is one thing you would tell yourself 3 years ago that you know about college now?
Oh, no is definitely a complete sentence. Um, don't be afraid to set boundaries with people and, choose yourself. And the first people you meet, you don't have to be like this with them. Make sure, you're talking to everyone around you and mixing and mingling with everyone. And I'm not talking about that just in like a romantic sense. I'm talking about like friendships and
Friendships.
stuff. Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like when I first got here, I really clung to the people in my suite. I lived in a suite of like five people. And out
Y'all
of
all
the
share one bathroom?
two,
Oh, about to say, my goodness.
yeah,
Oh my God. Okay.
and about three of us, we kind of meshed together. And then out of that three, I meshed with one who I did SGA with and friend group, all of that. And things kind of fell apart. And then after they fell apart, I was kind of left alone. Like, where do I go from here? Because I've clung to this person and their group for so long that I don't have anyone else to talk to or be with. I also realized that even with this same person, I turned down opportunities for myself because I was doing things that she wanted to do. or
Oh,
she wants to run for. And
ah.
yeah, instead of saying, hey, Lauren wants to do this, and just being okay with doing what I want to do or pursuing what I want to pursue without feeling like, oh, I'm going to lose my friend or I'm going to make her mad or I'm going to be messy, things like that.
What I have learned is that everybody's not your friend. Not
Yeah.
everybody's on your side. I think we talked about that a little earlier. But what I would tell myself 3 years ago on freshman Shemai, stop eating. That's number one.
Shamai.
No, I was like, listen, I looked at my freshman moving picture. I can't fit that shirt anymore. I know that for sure. That's how big it was. I'm joking. But I will say, in all seriousness, I will say, everybody's not your friend. But also don't take no for an answer. Some people, you know, uh, people that you think um are on your side, it's not on your side. Um, and not everybody has your best interest at heart. Even mentors or people or professors or directors of certain things, people don't have your best interests at heart, and not everybody's on your side. So that's what I have learned. That's what I would tell myself, to be prepared mentally. That everybody's not on your side, and that's a tough pill to swallow. Cause we live in a society where we want everybody to like us, and we want everybody to like what we do. When some people are acting out of jealousy or don't like your approach to certain things, and it's their way or the highway. So I would tell myself, just be prepared, but also don't. And I think what I'm very proud of myself now is I don't take no for an answer. And I don't. I know what my goals are, what my values are, and what I want to accomplish. And there have been some trials and tribulations. I've learned some things the hard way and all that stuff. But in the end, I think those mistakes have taught me, who I am today, and put me in the position who I am today and who I'm going to be moving forward. So I would tell myself 3 years ago, just be patient, and don't rush into anything. Um, I would say, to bring back to your point though, Lauren, what you said earlier about sacrificing yourself for other people's pleasure or something like that. Um, I would say that, I did make some sacrifices, like, okay, this person that I'm cool with, they're running, I don't want to run against my friend. And that actually did happen because I could have the opportunity to run for Mr. Fayetteville State University. I did have the opportunity to, but I didn't want to because the person that was there, who has been there since their freshman year, um, wanted to run, and they couldn't run. Because they were explaining to me that they wanted to run and why they wanted to run, all that stuff. Like, okay, and they had a high chance of winning anyways. But they didn't run because their GPA and all that stuff. So, and it was too late for me to sign up to run. So it was like, so I just don't, I think loyalty, I think I'm too loyal of a person. That's what I would say. Don't, I would say, do it's okay to be selfish. It's
Yeah.
okay to put yourself first. It's okay to put yourself first.
Okay to put yourself first. Of course, don't, be evil or shady, but, there are times, like you said, if there's something that you want to do, you should not, deny the opportunity because you feel like you're gonna rub some feathers with somebody else.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely been through that a few times, similar kind of thing, Shamai, and just because this person wanted to run for that, or I didn't run, or they wanted me to be on their team, so instead of doing my own thing, I just joined them. Um, And I've realized, looking back, and that's why I'm so glad I ran for Miss Norfolk State, because I wasn't gonna do it. And I wasn't gonna do it. And even though I didn't win, I became Miss 1935, the runner-up. I'm just so glad I did it for myself. I did it for
Good.
um, compared to all the other things, I just said no to because of someone else.
Mm,
Um, but I will say, aside from like social or like student leadership, one last thing I would tell myself is, as you know, Shimei, I'm very goal oriented, very
mhm.
focused on my career. I have a mentor, I love her so much, April Woodard. She told me my freshman year, and I didn't listen until maybe junior year. You don't have to say yes to every
Oh
professional
my,
opportunity.
yes, yes, yes. Oh, Lauren, yes. I had a professor that told me that. His name is Shavis Carter
Mhm,
at Central. He
mhm.
told me that the same thing. Freshman year. What happened? Okay, freshman year. He told me that the same thing. And I was like, nah, I can't turn down opportunities. Nah, I
Yeah,
can't do that. And now sometimes I be burnt out because I'm scared to say no to people.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is like the first year where I feel like, oh, I'm actually turning down professional opportunities that I don't necessarily have to do or don't necessarily align exactly with what I see bigger. And like you said, I would get so burnt out because every time I turn around, I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. And my schedule is still booked, but now it's kind of more intentional
Hmm.
rather than just like I need to be in every room, every professional. Like, so just learning how to say no and in the professional aspect, because for high achievers like you and myself, who wrote like the media industry is hard to get into.
Oh, that's why I
Exactly.
used to say yes to everything because it's
Exactly.
really hard because you don't know what that opportunity could open up.
Exactly. And not letting other people like make you feel guilty either for saying no. So that's a whole other conversation, but just that as well, learning how to create boundaries for yourself, choosing yourself, whether that's saying yes to something or no to something. Um, Really big lesson I've learned.
Yeah, that's a saying no to some things is really hard. And I used to have this thing in my mind. I said I wanted to be the Black Ryan Seacrest. Ryan Seacrest was on radio, television, everything. So I was like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And I was like, well, I don't know if Ryan does all this. Ryan even we went to college for one semester and dropped out. So like I don't know if he did all this. And this is like I wanted people to know who my name was,
Mhm.
who I was, what I did. So I didn't want people to know like that Snap fame, like, oh, what's that guy's name? Ah, nah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Nah, I wanted people to know who I was. So that's why I wanted to be on everything. But now it's like I really don't care. I just care about making my reel, getting my job, preparing for grad school, all that stuff. That's what I really care about.
And I
Those are
think,
things I really care about now.
and I agree. I think that's a good point, though. At least now people know your name, and I'm in the same situation. People know my name, so I don't have to be in every room.
Exactly.
And I can focus on building my reel, applying to grad school, looking for jobs, compared to a lot of people in my department where their senior year is the first time they do anything. They- and
Thank you.
they're
Oh, yes.
they're in
Yes.
they're trying to push their way into every room. They don't have a reel, they don't have anything together. And so to me, it looks 10 times worse because they're not only just trying to get their name out there, but they have to graduate, build their reel, and do everything at once.
And I learned this too. One of my mentors in NABJ, he's an NABJ treasurer, the national treasurer. His name is Rod Carter. He's an anchor for CBS 17 in Raleigh, North Carolina. He told me this, and I really took the heat of this. He said, "You are ahead of a lot of your peers," and I didn't look at it that way because when I think about my peers, I don't think about people that I go to school with. I think about the competition. I think
Thank,
about the students that I am going against
thank
who
you.
are actually the same passion as me. That's who I think about my peers.
Thank
I
you.
don't think about the people because I'm it's like these people are probably going to be managers, no offense, at
Yeah,
Cookout or managers at or something like that, or probably won't go into the industry, probably go to be a teacher or something like that. They probably want me to go into the industry. People take mass comm just to get out of math. I learned that the hard way too. I learned that I said, why are these none of I have to do everything by myself.
exactly.
Why? Why?
Are you here?
Why? Why are you here? Why are you wasting your money?
Yeah,
That's what I really don't understand. So I learned that, but competition is like people who are passionate, like the people at Howard, people at
the
the
short
NABJ short
course.
course.
Yeah,
Yes, those are my competition.
yeah.
Those are the people that, and I also have the mindset of there's enough space for everybody.
Thank you.
I don't, and that's why I like to see everybody shine. I like to
Yeah,
congratulate everybody because there's enough space for everybody. There's enough seats at the table. It doesn't, and I think we live in this society like, oh, it has to be only one person.
and
One,
yeah,
no, no. Now, there is only one person who's the best, yes, but at the same time, it's about spreading the awareness, especially because we're
yeah,
black, right? Not this. We're,
yeah. But I totally
yeah.
agree. Like the short course was so refreshing because although it was very hard, I just felt like, oh, I'm finally around people who understand, like, who are finally like as passionate, who are like actually serious about going in the industry. You are so right. So many people in my major don't even want to go in an industry.
Mm-mm.
And they call me, you're too serious, you're too this, you're too that. And I'm like, baby, this is the industry I want to go in. You just here, like you said, to not take a math class and to breeze through.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand. I say why people, and I get some people go to college because their parents make them or they force them, so I understand that. But it's just annoying when you
It's
have
annoying. And just don't be in the way of somebody who's actually
exactly,
trying to do something.
exactly, exactly. And I don't like how certain people, um, just like you try to use like presidencies and other stuff to try to help them with their career
Oh
or
yeah.
like it doesn't make sense because they don't really care about that. They care about your real and I
Yeah.
don't understand. This is what really gets me, and this probably I probably would never understand. When people say, "Oh, I want to be a future news anchor. I want to be a news anchor," and they have future news anchor in their bio, but they never made it real a day in their life, never wrote a script a day in their life.
And can't tell you five anchors that are on TV right now.
Exactly. Exactly. Can't
Telling you.
tell you, can't tell. They definitely would have failed that quiz that we.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking.
Ooh, you just gave me a flashback to my
That's, that's,
I did pretty good on that. I
no, I think I would have done great. Okay, we're talking about a quiz because that's short course because we had to take a quiz. Shout out to Enzio. He's
we love you,
we
Anzio.
love you, Enzio. He gave us a quiz um for like current events. They were going so fast. I knew the information, but they were going so fast, and my handwriting is horrible. If you see my hands, and Lauren have seen my hands are big. I'm a former football player, so when I write, I don't want to crush the pen. So they were like, they were saying stuff like, okay, and I remember I want to spell stuff right, cause and all that stuff. So I want to make sure like I knew the information because I was prepped. I watched the Today Show. I listened to NPR, all that stuff, but they were going too fast. They go too fast, but it is what it is. I missed out on $50. Shout out to Nate. He won the $50. Uh,
But like if class were like that every day and I were surrounded by students like that, like I feel like maybe my college experience would be a little bit better because I'm
Thank you.
like,
And that's why I was so emotional. I don't think you saw me, but I was crying a little bit. And when I got my, because at the short course, I got awards. Did I really think I didn't deserve, or I didn't think I was going to get? And I was like, I got the best hustle award. I was like, you don't understand how much I have had to do stuff on my own. I have sacrificed sleep, time, friendship, relationships to pursue my passion and pursue what I want to do. So, certain things in college, sometimes people forget their why. Oh, there we go. That's the thing. You forget your why, and that's another thing that I really have to understand. Why are you in college? Why are you pursuing this? Why do you want to go into this? So yeah, it's just I don't understand. I don't understand. But whew, yeah, that's one thing that really irks me though, is when people are in the way in your
Mm-hmm.
major, are just there just to be there.
Mm-hmm.
They're there and I'm glad though that sometimes you have to be that person. I learned that really pushes people and make people feel comfortable to want to come. Because I will say this, when I do my talk show, What's Up with Shimei Cook, I have a staff that helps me out, like producers with a switcher and the control room, all that stuff. And at first, it was hard to find a staff or find people who were interested to help out. So I remember, I remembered somebody was telling me, or I was watching some podcast or something, that you need to give people a reason to come to help you out, come work for you, right? So what I did was, What's Up with Shemai Cook, #1 show, right? All that stuff. And but I don't get paid. I get class credit. Everybody gets class credit though, but some people still don't come, even though it's class credit. But you know what black people love? I don't know this. Bingo. Every day. Every show. All right, everybody. Now from now on, what do you guys want? I bring some snacks. I go to Walmart the day before or the 2 days before, get some snacks for everybody. Guess what? People started coming. Consistency, consistency. It's not bribing, but it's showing that you appreciate
Yeah.
their sacrifice for them to come. Because
And I'm
sometimes we're there for 2, 3 hours, depending on the day. And sometimes and our teleprompter wasn't working, so I had to rephrase stuff or I had to memorize stuff, and so it's like stuff like that is appreciation. And the thing is though, I made sure everybody got credit for it. So I bought my own money. I bought graphics where at the end of the show you see graphics directed by Mariah, produced by Zaria or something like that, Nisha, camera operator. So they see that when they graduate 10, 15 years from now, oh my God, I helped him, or he gave me the credit. You have to create a safe space, a work culture that people are comfortable to come say, oh my God, I'm glad I helped him out. I'm glad. So that's one thing I really want, really appreciate about that, and know that treat people around you how you want to be treated.
yeah.
Yeah, cause even though you have to create a culture where people want to come, even though that they might not be interested, but they want to come and help out because they see your vision, they see your passion, and maybe that passion and vision can go into them, or that energy could go into them, and for them wanting to come back. Yeah, you got anything to say, Lauren?
No, I agree. I definitely agree. It's sometimes for me hard to get people to see my passion. So maybe
Yeah.
I'll take your advice, start bringing food to more meetings and whatnot.
Now, I'm
Um,
not saying break the bank. I'm not saying that because,
yeah.
the groceries are very expensive and this economy is very expensive. And people understand that. But, bring some chips, bring some Lay's chips, or I know at the end of the year I wanted to do a pizza party. I wasn't able to, but bring some pizza, just make sure you just highlight different people.
And
Um
that is one thing I have done. Giving people awards. We had an ABJ closing ceremony where we honor seniors,
oh,
but
good. Oh yeah,
since
I did see
becoming
that on Instagram, yeah.
yeah, since becoming president, I've tried to not just highlight seniors, but highlight other people that I've seen do work,
Mm-hmm.
because that does help. And just making other people feel important as well as like I've noticed when I do need help and nobody's saying anything, we'll start kind of delegating tasks to make people feel like, oh, she sees me as able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that kind of help our culture as well shift in some of our organizations. My new executive board now is kind of comprised of people where I've kind of had to push them to just, step
Mhm.
up, step up. You're
Yeah.
capable. Just step up. And that's something that, like you said, Shemai earlier. I'm a person who celebrates everybody.
Yeah, you have to.
I do not feel intimidated or jealous or trying to gatekeep opportunities. I try to share opportunities with everybody, try to motivate everybody to apply for things and do things. So it's just not me,
Yeah.
all being recognized. Because I have met a few people we've talked about, they get opportunities, but when you talk to them or, go to them and ask them how they get on or how they do this, they don't want to share. They want to gatekeep or they, act like you're speaking Spanish to them.
Yeah. That's
There's room for
what I
everybody.
understand. Yeah, there's really room for everybody, and we need more people of color in spaces and newsrooms and media spaces across the country. So that's why, especially with NEBJ, I love sharing the love and the knowledge and every time I see an opportunity about internship, I send it in the group chat or I send it to I send it to you or something like that because I just don't want it to be me. I
Yeah,
just don't want it's annoying. It's like,
yeah,
oh my God, me again by myself. And
yeah.
then I start getting social anxiety because like I'm the only black person in the room or something like that. This is like, oh man, like can we? But I had to remind myself that's how the industry is. So it is what it is. All right, now it's time for Talk Your Talk. This segment focusing on topics focusing on relationships, situationships, friendships, and personal growth. Today's question is: what are some ways that you stay true to yourself while evolving, Lauren?
Well, one of the ways I stay true to myself while evolving, I think there's three things. The first thing, Shemai, you've kind of already mentioned,
Hmm.
um, oh, dang it, I lost it. I'll come back to it. Shoot. The first thing, yeah, what you mentioned. Remember your why. Why are you here?
Okay.
That has definitely helped me while evolving. Going through so much my second and almost third year of college socially and whatnot, I kind of lost my focus. I was like, why? Like, all my relationship fell apart. My friendship fell apart. I lost this election. Like all of this is coming down on me, and I had to remember why am I here? I'm here on a full ride. I'm trying to be a journalist. Like, you know, I'm here because I want to be a journalist. And there's so many open doors, and I'm getting so caught up because my social life is falling apart right now. Wanting to quit, wanting to transfer because, my boyfriend left me and my friends stabbed me in the back. Like, it got to a point so bad where, like, I literally did not want to be here anymore. And so I had to, like, remember why am I here? And that's helped me while navigating college and evolving. Um, the second thing, what's helped me stay true to myself, I don't know if a lot of people didn't grow up with strict parents. Let's just put it that way.
Mm.
A lot of people didn't grow up with parents on them and feeling like they have to uphold a family reputation. Well, I did. Um, my mother didn't go to school, but my father did. He went to Howard, graduated, went to William and Mary. He's now an attorney. Um,
Mm.
my
What type
father,
of attorney?
yes. He's done 30 years of service in the state of Virginia,
No, what
on,
type of attorney is he?
different levels. I think it's just like criminal defense, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey.
And now he's doing more like public defender work. Shout out to my dad, LaRon Gilchrist, 30 years in Virginia practicing law.
Oh,
Um,
look at that. So you be asking him for law questions and stuff. You like he's your legal eagle.
I tell everyone I have an attorney on speed
Oh,
dial.
see, I know that's right. I know that's right, oh Lord. You better
Yeah.
say it. I have an attorney on speed dial. I
Yes.
know that's right.
Um,
You will hear from my lawyer, my dad. I
Uh,
know that's right. You have him look over all your contract. Oh, I know that's right, Lauren.
yeah, and he's always pushed me to do well in school, and it's just kind of like I don't want to let him down.
Okay.
And I've had, like I said, my parents have a clean record and everything.
Hmm.
You know, I don't want to be, and I'm the oldest child. I
Oh,
don't,
me too. Oh my God.
I don't want to be
Yes.
that person, oh, she had to drop out because she's pregnant, or oh, she got a DUI, or oh, just all these different things. And my father worked in Norfolk actually a long time, a long, long time. So it's kind of like, now going to college in the city that, he knows all these people, and I don't want to be an embarrassment. So that's
Okay.
helped me to stay true to myself. And I think just, embracing who you are, choosing yourself. Shemai, you talked about your hair. I was blonde for 6 years. This
Yeah, this
whole
you rocked it well. We got put a visual up for the video people. If you're listening, you gotta subscribe on the Cook Entertainment YouTube page. Put a visual up of a Lauren. She rocked the blonde. Yeah, you clocked it because it complimented your skin. Okay, clocked
thing,
it. Okay, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I was blonde for 6 years, and I always wanted to go, burgundy red, and I didn't do that until about last year. And part of the reason why is because I kept listening to other people.
Mhm.
Don't do that, and why would you want to color your hair, and all these different things, but I wanted a change. Being blonde for 6 years, I wanted to change, so I did that. Um, being open to whatever style you want to do. You don't have to fit into the HBCU mold of style. And like Shamai said, I'm actually more the person who would rather wear business clothes and suits and stuff every day. But at my HBCU, a lot of people come to class with athletic wear and swag.
Sweatpants, bonnets, seeing
Yeah,
seeing their underwear. I'm seeing more cheeks and breasts than on my plate in the cafeteria. It's just yeah.
like just being not being afraid to do what I want to do. So when I go to class, 9 times out of 10, I'm dressed. Whether it's usually business because I am on camera a lot, or either it's just in streetwear that's put together the right way. Not letting other people dictate what you do. And
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of evolving, like having your own mindset and not being so worried about they're going to look at me funny or say something. They're going to say something either way. That's what I found out.
hmm Well, I'll say one thing. What are ways or some ways that I stay true to myself while evolving? Like you said, knowing my why, but also I'll say having the relationship with the Lord. I think,
Yes.
knowing, trying to live through him, live through what I believe in, and I think that everybody has a purpose in life, and it has a calling, and I feel like I'm living in my calling.
Yeah.
So I think when trials and tribulations, I think there's just everything happens for a reason. I definitely believe that everything happens for a reason, good or bad. I think everything happens for a reason to teach somebody, teach people, but everything happens for a reason as well because um, it shows you where you should be. It puts you in the place where you should be or where you could be. So that's really where I believe that it really happens. That's where how I stay true to myself. Knowing my why and also having a relationship with the Lord. Because it's really hard. Sometimes it's hard to um be kind of an outsider, not like an outsider, but like not blending in with the crowd, being stand out. You get a lot of flack for that, and people look at you a different way or treat you a different way, or some people call you whitewash because you don't really fit the YN stereotype or
Yeah.
something like that. So it's just like, it's annoying. And but at the same time, I know who I am. I know what I want to do with my life and why I'm in college and why I'm doing the things that I do. So, not not allowing people's. That's kind of hard, freshman year compared to who I am now. I'll say I am less. I have more of a filter than I do, and that's actually surprising. I know, Lauren, but I have more of a filter.
I can't
Uh,
see with what
oh,
you had a. This is a filter, Shemai.
compared to freshman year in high school, um, yeah, it's more filtered than I am. So I have more of a filter. I sometimes I keep my comments to myself. Yeah, I keep more of my comments to myself nowadays. But I have learned that everything doesn't need to be said,
Mhm.
but certain things do need to be addressed. When it's repetitive and stuff, something like that, certain things do need to be addressed. So that's what I have learned, and that's how I stay true to myself while evolving. And it's okay to share the love too. That's another thing. It's okay to share the love. That's what I love to do.
And I agree, Shemai. I believe, my faith in God and Jesus, my faith has also, like you said, been an anchor because there's just been so many things where it's kind of like, I would do this, but that doesn't align with what I believe in.
Hmm.
And just even, I don't know if you have a church near your school
I,
that you
I
go
go I go to church. Well, I go to church probably where my family lives about an hour and some change, but for my school is probably a half hour,
to.
5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, just going to where I feel led to go and grow. That same person I told you about, Shema, um, I did everything because she wanted to, and I didn't want to rub her the wrong way. No shade to her church or anything, but that church wasn't for me.
Mm.
And she tried to kind of shame me when I told her, I don't really feel the best here. And the youth pastor on our campus is also a pastor at that church. And I left that youth group that they have on campus here because I was like, it's just not giving me what I need. And I started going to another church that I felt led to go to, and it's been a saving grace. It's where I found community and where I felt like okay, I'm connecting with God, and I love Calvary Revival Church here in Norfolk. I
Oh,
love it.
good.
I love that church. But I just realized if I had said no sooner, I could have been at Calvary. I didn't have to go to her church. And, dealing, like I said, people will shame you for choosing yourself. Like I said, I had that youth pastor here, who's also at that other church, tell me all the time, well, why aren't you here? And when are you coming back? And all of these different things. And it's kind of like when I finally chose myself, I felt a lot of peace. And
Peace of mind is so good.
peace. And, I never even knew, so much of that could come from faith and where you even choose to go, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Oh, that's so real. That is so real. Um, Before we go, I want to thank everybody for watching. Lauren, episode 2. This is a longer episode than I expected, but
Uh,
it was really much needed. I hope hope people take away something that we said and our conversations. And I want people to comment and send in questions or certain things. Email email us at cookentertainment3@gmail.com. And yeah, contact us and some things and send us some questions that you want us to answer.
yeah, find us on Instagram,
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, yeah, at Shamaika TV and at A'Lauren Official.
Yeah,
Stuff. So yeah, that episode 2 in the books, A'Lauren. Good job. Yeah, I
yeah.
like the red today. I like
Thank
the red.
you.
Verse we were matching episode 1. Oh yeah, I took my bandage off. It healed. My it healed. It
So
healed.
Shamash went up here, out of the surgery room. Y'all better comment. Y'all better tune in. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
it's so surprising. Well, we're talking about this. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Remember to like and subscribe and download whatever you get your podcast. See you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye.
That right.